look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he got to be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. You got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts.
Joe Rogan didn't try to hide his worries when Floyd Mayweather's real estate claims came up. "Hold on, that math doesn't add up," he yelled, almost leaning over the podcast table.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I show you, when I show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
That Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets, and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from a individual, from a billionaire, that had a 9% interest on the loan.
Rogan called Floyd's story into question, saying that he owns dozens of buildings worth tens of millions of dollars, and that claims that are just for show are not the same thing as real assets.
Money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money that there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell those.
This is where things get heated, because Floyd built the whole character of Money Mayweather around the idea of having endless money, fancy watches, and a financial empire that can't be touched. But signs from the business world point to a more complicated situation.
That Floyd Mayweather is made, and because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is or has been a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And another sign of him maybe in financial trouble is, as of February 2026, Floyd Mayweather has initiated a massive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former executive Steven Espinoza. So he's trying to get some bread right now.
The estimate is that he made over $1.2 billion over the course of his career in just earnings.
In February 2026, Floyd Mayweather also sued Showtime Networks and its former CEO Steven Espinoza for $340 million. This suggests that he may be having money problems.
They said that, I mean, things that they said in this article were insane, that Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan.
Business Insider says that 2 of Mayweather's commercial properties have already been put up for foreclosure. They also say that his Las Vegas strip club building was almost taken away because the property taxes had not been paid. Floyd has also fought cases that say he owes money for expensive watches and jewelry. This shifts the focus from bragging rights to financial responsibility.
What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing gym, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke.
The news source also said that 2 Trump condos in Las Vegas were temporarily taken away because of back taxes and then returned after payment. They also said that Trump's homes, private jet, and businesses were used as collateral for a big $54 million loan. The difference between money and image in these publications has definitely caused a lot of discussion, whether it's an exaggeration or a misunderstanding. The argument was already off track when Joe Rogan said he didn't trust Floyd's business company. Then Chael Sonnen jumps in as if he just grabbed the mic and decided that being subtle isn't important after all. Chael looks at the whole "is Floyd broke" story and asks, why do we even act like this is shocking news?
Gambling addict. He got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
He basically answers his own question by saying, if you go to work every week because you need money, why would it be strange for a boxer to keep fighting for the same reason? I'm thinking, that's peak Chael logic. Half brutal honesty, half troll energy. He doesn't stop there, though. Chael starts to dispel the myths about boxing pay by saying that claims of billion-dollar earnings and huge pay-per-views are often based on press releases instead of publicly available financial records, and that no one from the companies handling the pay-per-views has checked those crazy numbers. Just that sentence busts years of boxing hype myths.
And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic.
But Chael isn't just making fun of Floyd either. He doesn't like anything about the sports business story. Then he talks about the mess with the contracts and says that any promoter would go crazy if Floyd announced a lot of fights around the supposed Tyson fight. When it comes to the fight business, timing and exclusivity are very important. This is where the irony comes in. Chael sees Floyd accusing Showtime of using unethical business practices.
Mayweather owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no, he doesn't. Will Logan ever get the money? I think Floyd's broke. Floyd does not owe Logan $1.3 million. Floyd's promotion owes Logan $1.3 million. And no, of course he's not going to get it. That promotion's already shut down. Allegedly, but...
Some say Floyd's promotion caused a misunderstanding with Logan Paul. But the story quickly turns into a hall of mirrors where everyone thinks someone else is the bad guy. But here's the funny inconsistency that Chael brings up without meaning to. People can say bad things about Floyd's earnings, doubt his income, argue about his contracts, or just look down their noses at his shows. But when Mayweather's name is on a fight poster, everyone in the fight sports world pays attention.
Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco suggested on their podcast that Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back, unretiring.
He is.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip here of Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
There are only 3 fights that Floyd can have. He ain't gonna have no choice.
Chael Sonnen has already made the Floyd might be broke argument stronger. The conversation turns into a full-on roundtable of financial investigators when Jason Whitlock and that team join in. I sit there and think, wow, we've officially gone from fight analysis to forensic accounting with boxing gloves on. Whitlock starts the story by depending on Shannon Sharpe and Akasinko's opinion that Floyd's main reason for coming out of retirement is to get a big payout. And it's easy to see the business side when names like Canelo, Manny Pacquiao, and Terrence Crawford come up. Shannon tells Floyd that those are the only fights that can bring in the money he wants. That is not just a guess. That's pretty much the menu for the Star Super fight. Whitlock then asks, "Why do you fight?" in a Rocky movie quote. Out of the blue, the talk turns philosophical in the funniest way possible.
$1 billion and he's 47 years old and he's completely broke. He's won the prize. This is, of all the idiots that we've seen out there, celebrities, actors, entertainers that have lost a lot of money, this guy would take the cake. To blow a bill before he even hits 50 is unimaginable. It actually is sad. It's a cautionary tale. We have seen it time and time again. But who actually wants to watch this guy fight? Like, people that love him. If he comes out and if he loses and looks terrible and gets destroyed, well, look, if you love him or hate him, you can say, well, he's nearly 50 years old. This doesn't prove it.
Floyd built a whole brand around the idea that money means success, going from being a beautiful boy to having a lot of money. There is also a cruel irony that Whitlock points out. When your whole image is based on being rich, any hint that you might be having money problems causes a media frenzy. Then Dr. Dre takes a more sensible stance, saying, the real issue isn't what Floyd earned. It's what we don't know about cash flow, assets, debts, taxes, and way of life. This refers to the deep-seated worries about money that lie beneath the flashy Instagram photos. As the panel adds jokes about gamblers going broke, IRS bills, and spending a lot of money on nice things, Floyd's career turns less into a victory lap and more into a complicated puzzle. But this part makes me laugh. Half of the panelists wonders why anyone would want to see a fighter who is almost 50 years old return to the ring, while the other half quietly admits something that every fight fan already knows. Even if people are still arguing about whether Floyd Mayweather should fight Crawford, Canelo, or Pacquiao, they will all still be watching when the bell rings.
Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing. It was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he can do.
Whitlock and the panel have already turned Floyd's story of coming back into a drama about money in court. But when Andre Ward joins the conversation, it changes from people giving their quick opinions to fighter-level thought. To be honest, the contrast hits in different ways. At the start of the conversation, Ward basically tells everyone that he has always admired Floyd's work ethic. And I'm nodding because that part is often missed when people only look at the flash. Ward says that the cars, jets, and everything else were part of the Mayweather business. But deep down, she had always been a gym rat who never missed a workout. And when Ward says he's not sure how he feels about this comeback, you can tell he's telling the truth because he's not criticizing Floyd like the rumors have said. He's saying more than that. Ward says that boxing becomes a part of who you are when the adrenaline, the attention, and the huge fight night checks give you an experience that you can't get in normal life.
Watch a fighter, he'll say he don't watch him, but he'll watch any potential opponent over and over and over, and he has to process, can he do anything with me? How does my skill set line up with his? Can I beat him? The problem with being 49 years of age is sometimes your brain can see things and tell you things that your body's not in agreement with. That's the problem with age. Your brain is still saying, I'm him. Your brain is still saying, man, I'm Money Mayweather. Man, these youngsters can't deal with me. But your body is saying, brother, we can't do it like that anymore.
Only someone who has been a champion before can give you that kind of information. Then he talks about the rematch between Rocky and Pacquiao, which makes me think again. Ward brings up an interesting point. Older warriors may start more fights because they can't depend on steady moving as much. There will be less foot speed and more exchanges, which disproves the idea that this fight is naturally dull. What Ward keeps coming back to, though, is the real danger of getting older. Your mind still thinks you're the same attacker, but your body is telling you it's not true. That line explains a lot of bad things that have happened in boxing history. Even though Ward says he would love for both stars to retire on a beach, he also admits that curiosity wins this time. Because the whole fight world pays attention when two famous fighters with unfinished business get back in the ring, even if we don't mean to.
That's the struggle, and that's the danger of coming back at this age. So part of me wants to see these guys continue to make money. Part of me wants to see these guys, how do they do it at this age? Man, I mean, show me something. Show me how your mind can overtake the deficiencies you may have in your body at your age. But the deeper part of me, man, I want to see Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao on a beach somewhere, living off the fruits of their labor, helping the game however they see fit to help the game, and just watching the next generations do what they do. But hey, we got to fight September 19th.
And when you step back and look at it from afar, it really does feel like four different worlds are colliding at the same time. Joe Rogan has doubts about the story of the financial empire. Chael Sonnen is busting the myth that fighting pays well. Whitlock's panel looks at the subject from a business and lifestyle point of view. The fighter's point of view is then given by Andre Ward, who reminds everyone that this sport is a part of your DNA in ways that money can't buy. On one side of the argument, Floyd's return is due to his desire for another big paycheck. Someone else says that the stories about money are just idle talk. From Ward's point of view, it's gently reminded us that boxers come back because the attention, competition, and excitement are things that they can't get in everyday life. That's what's really making people stressed out here. Legacy versus longevity, work versus passion. And the fact that Floyd is being talked about shows how important he is, whether people think he is after money, history, or just the feeling of being Money Mayweather again. Everyone is arguing, debating, and studying every part of the comeback, so take a look around. It's this pull that legends have on the sport that drives it forward. Let me hear from you now. Do you think Floyd Mayweather is coming back for money because he loves the sport, or because he still has unfinished business with Manny Pacquiao? Feel free to share your thoughts below. Come on, let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ring Exposed.